Welcome to a special edition of ABC 7 Extra. I'm Stephanie Valle. ABC 7 is presenting a series of in-depth, interactive discussions to keep you up to date on the coronavirus pandemic and its effect on the borderland. And we welcome your questions and comments. You can send them to share@kvia.com. That is share@kvia.com. Now, yesterday, Texas Governor Greg Abbott ordered all schools in the state remain closed until at least May 4th. So schools are using distance learning, taking classes via computer or tablet at home in order to continue educating students. So how are distance learning programs working? Joining me today are Juan Cabrera, Superintendent of the El Paso School District, and Dr. Jose Espinosa, the Socorro ISD Superintendent. You can send your questions in again to share@kvia.com, and we will try to answer as many as you can. So, gentlemen, thank you all for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
So, Dr. Espinosa, let's start with Socorro ISD since the district began distance learning last week. So how has it been going so far?
Yes, this is our second week of our remote learning academy. And after our first week, we received lots of feedback from our amazing parents. And some of the feedback that we received is that they were overwhelmed. But as a school district, we got together and we made some adjustments. But then we heard from a lot of our amazing teachers that they were overwhelmed with the changes. And like I'm emphasizing to our school community that this is the first time for all of us, you know, for teachers, for parents, for obviously our awesome students, leadership. So we're making adjustments and adapting as we go, because, you know, right now for our parents, as y'all may know, you know, many of our parents are losing their jobs and they're worried about them and their families. But we also have teachers who are going above and beyond to make sure that they are instructing their students. But sometimes, you know, we need to remember that a lot of our teachers have their own little ones, you know, that they need to help out with their instruction. And parents, teachers, sometimes they'll have two children, 3, 4 children. So it's a lot, you know, but I cannot thank our amazing teachers, our parents for making sure that we're going to be providing that flexibility for our parents. And as a district, we're going to also be providing flexibility for our teachers as well.
Can you get a little more detailed into that? What kind of flexibility are you talking about when it comes to the teachers and the parents?
Yes, to give you an example, you know, we have 49 schools. We have over 6,000 employees. You know, teachers have been connecting with their students. Well, some teachers, for example, are utilizing the software called Zoom. Well, you may have some other teachers who are utilizing a software called Teams. And so one of the things that we wanted to make it as simple as possible for our parents is, oh, you know what, let's go to Teams. Let's just use Zoom so everybody's on the same page. Well, what we figured out is that there's some teachers that are not comfortable with Teams. They're comfortable with Zoom. So allowing them that flexibility to make contact with their students. And it's pretty neat to see on social media when you have a teacher and the students, you'll have 10, 20 faces on a computer where they are keeping in constant contact with their students. But we're still learning at this, and we're going to continue to make adjustments as we go.
I have a couple of educators in my life, and I hear from a lot of them saying, we can't wait to hear what positive things come out of all of this pandemic, all of the negativity. So at this point, have you seen any positives or pleasant surprises that have come from the shift in education?
Well, you know, with this accountability system that we have nowadays, sometimes people tend to say that, well, our teachers, if we don't have accountability, our teachers will be lax. Well, let me tell you, the state test, I think throughout the country, in Texas for sure, has been taken away, and our teachers are working even harder. So that says a lot to me and a lot to the educators out there that, you know, our teachers hold themselves accountable to make sure that they continue to instruct our students to the highest degree.
We're going to get to Mr. Cabrera in just a moment after we take a break. And again, we're going to relay the questions that you've been sending us to share@kvia.com. You're watching a special edition of ABC 7 Extra. Welcome back to the special edition of ABC 7 Extra at 4:30. We are focusing on issues that have to do with distance learning, and I'm joined by the SIC Superintendent Jose Espinosa and the EPIC Superintendent Juan Cabrera. So we heard a lot from Dr. Espinosa during the first part of this segment. So, Mr. Cabrera, we want to talk with you now. The district began distance learning on Monday. So how has the district handled the transition?
You know, this is a big transition. We made the decision on Friday the 13th of March, and it's amazing. Our team worked for 17 days straight. By the time school started on Monday, we had gone nonstop, including the entire spring break, to try to stand up a virtual school. And like any technology system, like anything new, we've got glitches. We've got some servers going down. We're working with our provider, Schoology, to make sure that doesn't happen. But I couldn't be more proud of our staff and all of our teachers and how hard they worked for that 17-day stretch, no time off, to get prepared for the 30th. What I want to communicate to parents is, and I think Dr. Espinosa said the same thing, we're all learning together. As long as we maintain a positive attitude and we try to work through all of this, we're going to get better every single day. But we fully expect challenges and struggles, and we're just going to continue fighting through that.
And you mentioned Schoology, and I want to talk about that in a second, but we were also showing video of the district distributing iPads to elementary school students, to those who didn't have access. How many iPads were distributed?
So far, we're at 10,000. So we were way ahead of the game. We were one of the largest school districts in the country to have 6 to 12 MacBooks. We started that about 4 years ago, thanks to our trustees. So we had our secondary schools covered. We do have a replacement program in place now for ones that aren't working. But what we started doing back on March 14th, which was a Saturday, is creating a plan so that we could call all of our students during spring break. Now, that was a big undertaking. We asked our teachers to try to get in touch with every single student, and then we wanted to create a list of kids that were not contacted so that we could begin to talk to them about, sending them some paper materials or iPads, or just figure out what their situation was. So it's been a two-pronged process, one of standing up school for those that have technology at home, and one of getting iPads, so far 10,000, MiFi devices, and then paper, last-ditch effort if we can't get somebody up online right now.
And Mr. Cabrera, we talked to some parents to get their take on distance learning, and here's what one mom had to say.
I've actually been having a hard time trying to log on to the Schoology, but there are other apps that we've been using.
And as a parent of 2 kids in EPIC, I can also attest to these connectivity issues. You addressed it yourself. So talk about what the district is doing to fix the problem with Schoology, the program that students are supposed to use to submit their schoolwork.
So remember, Schoology is just the application that holds the work, and it's one of the connectivity devices. We've got Microsoft Teams, we've got Zoom, they can use Google Hangouts, and then all of the other offline resources are available. So what we're in the process now of doing is educating our teachers and parents, and we're doing this as we speak, about all of the other online and offline resources that can complement the overall online education process. In addition to that, I have a call with the CEO of Schoology this afternoon to express my concerns and to have some serious discussions about their bandwidth capabilities. So we made that decision today. I've never met this individual, haven't spoken to him, but I'm speaking to him this afternoon.
And I want to get back to you for this question that I wanted to ask both of you. But first, I want to ask Dr. Espinosa in SISD. Mr. Cabrera mentioned that they were going to have to try to figure out how to get a hold of students who did not have access to technology. Their parents didn't answer the phone. Talk about the issues that SISD is working to resolve in terms of making sure that there are no students who fall through the cracks during this time.
Yes, and that is a concern that we are addressing. We have an amazing technology team, and we are making contact with all of our students who do not have an electronic device, specifically a laptop. And currently, this week, next week, parents are driving up to our central office to pick up laptops again for those students who and those families who are in need of them. And I cannot thank our amazing trustees enough. 2 board meetings ago, they approved also an additional 1,000 hotspots, because somebody could have a laptop but they don't have Wi-Fi at home, so that's going to assist those students. But the pickups continue. Today it drove up. There's several students, several parents are in line to pick up their laptops, and they're on a scheduled basis because we have 49 schools in our school district, so the schools are calling those students, are identifying those students as, hey, you don't have a laptop, go by the central office. They're picking them up outdoors. They pick them up and they're on their way. So, you know, because every school district has those students who just don't have those access to the electronic devices.
And Mr. Cabrera, the same question to you. Talk about just how many students you're still trying to get a hold of and what the approach is.
So our goal was the entire spring break to call every single student. As of the weekend, we had about 15,000 that had not responded. We're down to about 10,000 now. And I have already met a couple of times with United Way, and I'm going to ask them, you know, we're not making any employees go to homes, but the United Way has offered to work with nonprofits who will go to homes and help us close that gap. The reason we started 20 days ago was because, you know, we've never done this before, so I knew it would take a long time to contact every student, and I wanted us to be in a position to know who had not been contacted. We're in the process of creating a plan to physically go to their homes to make sure that no child gets left behind. My goal is for every child, every parent to have access to a device. But even if they don't have a device yet, as long as they have a browser, it's important for families to understand they can get on any computer in their home and log into Schoology and log into their account, or Zoom, or Teams, or any of the programs we're using, and they can have access. So it's important. We will try to get every child a device. That will happen. You know, anybody that we can contact, but if they can't, please know that you can log on to a phone, to any other device in your home, and you can access the online resources.
And we are getting emails from parents who have children in both districts, and they just want to know, is it still, are the tablets still available for them to go pick up at their child's school?
In Socorro ISD, yes. As a matter of fact, I got a call from a parent just about 2 hours ago, and we spoke to her and said, hey, come on by central office. We're going to be distributing them this week, but along with next week, and hopefully by next week, all of our students should have a laptop. All of our high schools, all of our 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th graders, they have an electronic device. They have a laptop because we started this years ago, but we may have several students at the elementary level who may not have access, even at the middle school level. So those are the ones that we continue to reach out to.
And Mr. Cabrera, the same for you? Mr. Cabrera, I don't know if you could still hear me, but we just want to know, are parents still able to pick up tablets from the child's school?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, this is we as I said, been working on this for over 2 weeks, and we're still ordering. We had an emergency board meeting, one of the first in the state, and our board approved more laptops, more Wi-Fi, and I've already spoken with a couple of local businesses that will help us in the event that we need more resources in that way. We are not going to give up until we've contacted every student and tried to get them a device one way or another.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when this special edition of ABC 7 Extra returns, we're going to answer more of your questions. We'll be right back. Welcome back to our weekday edition of ABC 7 Extra. Our guests today are Juan Cabrera, the superintendent of the El Paso School District, and Dr. Jose Espinosa, the Socorro ISD superintendent. And we are welcoming your questions. You can send them to share@kvia.com. So this question is for both of you gentlemen. The FBI field office in Massachusetts posted on its website, it has received multiple reports of conferences being disrupted by pornographic and/or hate images and threatening languages. And that includes conferences that were being held by teachers with students, including those conferences like you both mentioned, like on Zoom. So what security measures are being taken by EPIC and SIC to keep everyone safe while learning online?
Well, unfortunately, folks are going to take advantage of this in a negative way. We've got our cybersecurity folks working on it, and the agency is also offering some support in cybersecurity, and they found out about these hackers. So we have not had a situation yet, but we are preparing for that. And this is just a cybersecurity issue. It's somebody hacking into the meetings. So the teacher is not expected to be able to stop that. We've got to stop that at the input, which is the server side, and we're working on that. Hopefully that doesn't happen.
And Dr. Espinosa, your comments on that?
Yes, sir. I agree with Mr. Cabrera. So far, thank goodness we have not had that issue, but we have an amazing technology team, as I said, who are monitoring, who also had received some information earlier, I don't know if it was this week or last week, about it, to make sure that we're on the lookout for that, because you will have individuals who will take advantage of the situation in a very negative way.
We have a question from our viewer, Patrick, for both of you. Do you believe a target date of May 4th, 2020 for opening up in-person classrooms is realistic? He's referring to the decision that was made by Governor Abbott yesterday. He also wanted to know, is the decision to keep the school in your districts remain closed up to you?
Yes. When this started,
go ahead, Dr. Espinosa.
Initially, it was for 2 weeks till April 6th, I believe. I recall. Now it's been extended to May 4th. You know, that's what the governor said yesterday or 2 days ago. I'm guessing that we probably will not return, but keeping our fingers crossed that we will return, because specifically talking to, for example, to our amazing seniors, not only here in Socorro, but throughout El Paso and the state of Texas. I mean, it's an amazing group of seniors that we have here, and I want to see our seniors receive a high school diploma while they're crossing that stage. You know, we've had several conversations. You know, could it be an online graduation? That is something that me personally, I don't want. I want that big day to be celebrated by those students, but obviously also those amazing, amazing parents, because that is a huge milestone in someone's life. So we're hoping that things get better, and hopefully we open up on May 4th. That keep our fingers crossed. But if not, you know, we're going to figure out a way to make sure that our students here in SISD experience that graduation, because that is a big, big milestone, as I said.
And Mr. Cabrera, would you like to comment also?
Yeah, no, I agree with Dr. Espinosa. We're certainly concerned about the seniors, but you know, one of the aspects of this coordination that I'm really happy about is Dr. Espinosa and myself, we're on a group that speaks regularly with the city manager, and I speak regularly with the mayor and the county judge. And as far as I'm concerned, we are a community partner. We are committed to doing our part. I'm not going to make that decision locally. My trustees don't want to make it. We're going to stay lockstep with the county, with the health authorities, and with the city. So I'm glad that we've got May 4th. I think from everything that I'm hearing and reading and speaking to the officials, a lot of this depends on the trends in El Paso and in terms of positive tests and then recovery and whatnot. But you know, we're sticking with that May 4th, and as soon as they give us notice that it might be different, we'll change. We're flexible.
We did get a question, Dr. Espinosa, specific to you, someone asking about transcripts that they need to submit to colleges and universities for college admission. Is there an online transcript request process since the school districts are closed? And that question could actually be for both of you. Is there a way to get that information for the students who are hoping to graduate this year?
Yes, at this time, those are some of, like I said, every school district is new to this. We're still working on that, but if students are going to be applying to different colleges throughout here in El Paso or throughout the country, we're going to make sure that the necessary paperwork, in this case transcripts, that they are available for whatever whatever documentation that the universities and colleges are asking for. If it's not up there yet, we will make sure that our students are not held back by something that they need, as far as, for example, like transcripts.
And Mr. Cabrera, is that information going to be available for graduating seniors as well, the transcripts that they need for college?
Absolutely. I think, you know, one of the benefits of all this going on for all of us is that we're all going to stick together. You know, there won't be any school district that should have an advantage over another. The universities are in the same boat. We're in the same boat with them. So we're all going to work together. We all have seniors. We all have kids who want to get into college. Parents should not worry about that. Every school district eventually will work together on this, just like the universities will. We're going to make sure and take care of our seniors. We're all in this together across Texas, so I don't want anybody to worry about somebody getting an advantage over them. We'll work it out together.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you so much for talking with us today about this issue. A lot of parents concerned about making sure their students don't miss out on that learning during this really trying time. So again, thank you.
Stephanie, can I ask you a question?
Okay.
So you're a parent. Tell us about your at-home learning. That feedback is really important for us.
Well, I will say that I know that I didn't pick teaching for a reason. It's been really a trying time for us at our home, but I will say that I know that just what I've heard from the teachers and just what I've witnessed, it's been a really amazing experience that the kids have been able to transition so smoothly to online learning and really pace it at their own pace, if you will. And what's been really great is that the teachers that my kids have given them schedules, which really helps. So the experience has been great, and it has been hard because everyone's at home and we're all trying to do what we have to do, but the kids have really taken to learning online. So that's been a huge blessing.
Well, yeah, I want to say to you and to all the parents, I'm sure Dr. Espinosa would agree, we understand that this is a bit of a hardship for the parents because we always want parental involvement, but now we need it more than ever. We call our parents learning coaches. We really need you to help us. So, give us ideas, work with us, try to find out ways where we can ease that burden for you. But your help at home is critical to keep your students moving along. And we know it's hard. And thank you so much for partnering with us to keep moving our students forward.
Again, gentlemen, thank you so much. And we'll be right back.
Thank you.
Thank you.